Williams syndrome is a genetic condition that is present at birth and can affect anyone. It is characterized by medical problems including cardiovascular disease, developmental delays, and learning disabilities. These often occur side by side with striking verbal abilities, high social personalities, and an affinity for music. WS affects 1 in 10,000 people worldwide, an estimated 20,000 to 30,000 people in the United States. It is known to occur equally in both males and females and in every culture. Although a genetic link is present, a person can be born with the syndrome without having a family history of it. According to the National Institute of Neurological Disorders and Stroke, random genetic mutations, not hereditary, usually cause the condition. Affected individuals do, however, have a 50% chance of passing it on to their children. Scientists found that a deletion in chromosome 7 caused this condition. The deleted section contains approximately 25 genes. The gene elastin, which gives elasticity to the blood, is one of the missing genes. Without it, heart defects and disorders of the circulatory system are common. The condition can typically be diagnosed by physical characteristics. The diagnosis can be confirmed by doing a lab test called fluorescent institute hybridization. This is a lab test that labels DNA sequences with a chemical that lights up under ultraviolet light. This enables scientists to see if the gene is missing or not. Other tests to help diagnose the condition can include a kidney ultrasound, blood pressure check, and an echocardiogram. Tests can also show high blood calcium levels, high blood pressure, slack joints, and unusual patterns in the iris of the eye. Children with Williams syndrome need costly and ongoing medical care and early interventions such as speech or occupational therapy that may not be covered by insurance or state funding. Occupational therapists should work together with the student's IEP team and family throughout the screening, evaluation, program planning, and intervention process. They specialize not only in helping to remediate difficulties, but also find the workaround when remediation is not an option. Individuals with WS require support to complete a myriad of fine motor and life tasks due to the pervasive visual, spatial, and fine motor deficits they experience. Occupational therapy is often helpful to address areas of delay in Williams syndrome, such as sensory sensitivities, motor skills difficulties, self-regulation problems, and feeding issues. Speech therapists should work together with the student's IEP team and family throughout the screening, evaluation, program planning, and intervention process. They work with the child one-on-one in a small group or directly in a classroom to overcome problems. Speech therapy addresses many areas of concern for those with WS. Individuals with WS have feeding problems as infants, develop communicational skills lower than normal, and may continue to have language-based difficulties for many years. Although they often develop an excellent expressive vocabulary and are able to learn new and unusual words quickly, comprehension often lags behind. Additionally, social pragmatics, nuisance, and conversion skills continue to require intervention for many years. Most young children with Williams syndrome are described as having similar facial features. These features include a small, unturned nose, long philtrum, wide mouth, full lips, small chin, and puffiness around the eyes. Blue and green-eyed children with Williams syndrome can have a prominent starburst or white lacy pattern of the iris. Facial features become more apparent with age. There are many features that people with this genetic condition share, and here are some of them as follows. The majority of individuals with Williams syndrome have some type of heart or blood vessel problems. Some young children with Williams syndrome have elevations in their blood calcium level. Most children with Williams syndrome have a slightly low birth weight than their brothers or sisters. Many infants and young children have feeding problems. Many infants with Williams syndrome have an extended period of colic or irritability. Slightly small, wide-spaced teeth are common in children with Williams syndrome. There is slightly increased frequency of problems with kidney structure and dysfunctions. Groin and umbilical hernias are more common in WS than in the general population. Children with WS often have more sensitive hearing than other children. Young children with WS often have low muscle tone and joint laxity. As the child gets older, joint stiffness may develop. Individuals with WS have a very endearing personality. They have a unique strength in their expressive language skills and are extremely polite. They are typically unafraid of strangers and show a greater interest in contact with adults than with their peers. Most people with WS will have mild to severe learning disabilities and cognitive challenges. Young children with Williams syndrome often experience developmental delays. Milestones such as walking, talking, and toilet training are often achieved somewhat later than and considered normal. Older children and adults with Williams syndrome often demonstrate intellectual strengths and weaknesses. There are some intellectual areas such as speech, long-term memory, and social skills in which performance is quite strong, while other intellectual areas such as fine motor and spatial relations show significant weakness. There is no cure for Williams syndrome. The treatment involves easing the symptoms connected to the syndrome. Narrow blood vessels can be treated if they cause symptoms. Physical therapy and speech therapy can be beneficial. Treatment is usually based on the individual's symptoms. There is no standard treatment protocol. Regular checkups are necessary to evaluate the cardiovascular system and monitor any possible problems. People with WS should avoid taking extra calcium and vitamin D. This is because blood levels of these substances are already high. There is no known way to prevent WS syndrome. People with a family history of the condition can choose to undergo genetic counseling before conceiving a child. Talk to your doctor about whether this is appropriate for you and what your chances are of having a child with the condition. There are several foundations that center on increasing Williams syndrome awareness and education for families, physicians, therapists, and the community. There are two in particular that I found to be very interesting: the Williams Syndrome Association and the Williams Syndrome Changing Life Foundation. The Williams Syndrome Changing Life Foundation was formed to enhance the lives of children and adults with Williams syndrome by providing needed financial assistance with medical, educational, developmental, therapeutic, and recreational resources. The Williams Syndrome Association is the most comprehensive resource for people and families living with the Williams syndrome, as well as doctors, researchers, and educators. The WSA provides resources, support, and the latest medical information to help children today and throughout his or her life. No matter the age or stage of someone with WS, they are not alone. The WSA offers support and will help navigate the challenges from diagnosis through adulthood. Each summer, more than 200 youth and teens with WS enjoy camp weeks designed especially for them at WSA-sponsored camps. The camps keep them busy and happy with many different activities and specialized programming. In my conclusion, before my research, I had no clue what Williams syndrome was or that it even existed. It amazed me how easy it could affect anyone, and I learned so much about how it affects children and people in their everyday lives, and also how many ways people with the disorder can be helped. Unlike disorders that can make connecting with children difficult, children with Williams syndrome tend to be social, friendly, and engaging. From my research, I've learned that parents often say the joy and standpoint a child with WS brings into their lives have been unbelievable. But there are major struggles as well. Many babies have life-threatening cardiovascular problems. In my opinion, I think there are many ways to help people and children cope with this particular disorder. However, children with WS need costly and ongoing medical care and early interventions that may not be covered by insurance or state funding, so it makes it hard for poorer people to help their young children that have acquired this disorder. I believe that the medical care for this disorder should be accessible for all. That way, the children that do have it can more easily manage their lives by getting all the help they deserve. Nevertheless, by donating to foundations such as the Williams Syndrome Foundation or the Williams Syndrome Association, you can help support and enrich the lives of individuals and families affected by Williams syndrome.